Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This whole section is about Swadharma, the importance of Swadharma. Swadharma, as we have seen, has two meanings, two components or two ways to understand what is Swadharma. One is the roles in which one finds oneself. One is born into certain roles, even without deciding. Even as a baby, I'm related. Somebody claims me as a daughter or a son. Somebody claims me as a sister or a brother or a grandchild. I'm already born related. And so, these are all roles. The fulfillment of those roles and the duties connected to the roles, I do what I have to do, from the role of a family member within the smallest unit called family, all the way to the being a citizen in whatever nation state I have been born into. This is the simplest iteration of Swadharma. Then we have the Swadharma of whatever talent, whatever contribution needs to be expressed through this upadhi. Because otherwise, why do I have this upadhi? Why does somebody else have another upadhi? And so this is something which we have to properly understand. This Swadharma is expressing itself through various upadhis, and that is the other meaning. When the Gita talks about Swadharma, the first meaning of various roles, in that sense, the Gita looks at the social construction of those times in which it was written. So Swadharma here, Varnashrama Dharma, traditional meaning is taken only because that particular setup is for moksha alone, or I should say was for moksha alone. No other reason. So Swadharma has lost importance these days because the grass is greener in America. Definitely. And what do I want? Greenery. Yeah, greenery means what? Greenery means dollars. Because see, our money comes in various colors, orange, pink, everything. Only 500 rupee note is green. So we also have our own greenery, but usually greenery means dollars. Why? Because it doesn't lose its value, unlike the rupee. Every day you look, the heart sinks a little more. So this is what it is. So now Swadharma has no meaning at all, because the grass is always greener on the other side. Everybody wants to be upwardly mobile, and even people in very respected traditional occupations do not want their children to follow those occupations, no matter how respected. What can be more respected than a priest? But the priest will say, I don't want my son to become a priest. I want to send him to America. This is how it is. So obviously a lot has changed from the previous social structure, which was really for a non-competitive society. It was crafted for moksha. Because moksha is to be gained when? Here, now. And if it is to be gained here and now, what do I have to do? I have to just focus on that. How will I focus on that when I have to think about how to fill my stomach, how to pay the bills? Here is where the Varnashrama Dharma came in and said, you don't have to fight for a livelihood. Because whatever your parents do, that is what you are skilled in because you have been seeing it from a young age. You continue to do that. Nobody else will come in that terrain. That is for you to express yourself and do that. And so this is how it was, so that one could focus on moksha and one could focus on becoming more and more sattvic. That is what it is. It had not much to do with birth, because even sometimes what is that? Children of Brahmanas would be very tamasic. And that's why the expression Brahmana Putra means a total duffer. Someone who is a dunce. That's a kind of a, sarcastic usage. Why? Because they feel like the intelligence had skips a generation. So this is how it is. So it has no meaning really. Even then, it was all about the guna, one's disposition and one's activities. The varna was determined by that. And so therefore Swadharma had some relevance. The relevance of Swadharma is because I want moksha. So the best way to get moksha and ready myself for moksha quickly is to not be a victim of other people's doings and sit and cry and in a spirit of victimhood, but what to do? To get ready for this knowledge through the agency of my own actions. It's really brilliant. But now it has no meaning. Why? Because how many people want moksha? Nobody. Outside this room. Okay? Nobody wants moksha. Everybody else wants many other things. And everybody is looking for arthakama pursuits. And so therefore, this Swadharma argument has lost its pertinence, because we live in a time where the other pursuits, the arthakama pursuits have overtaken the desire for moksha, whether it is individually or collectively. Nonetheless, this is what we saw in the 47th verse. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat su anushthitat swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. So one's own dharma, swadharma here, is superior to, even badly performed, is superior to taking on somebody else's swadharma and performing that well. This is the thing. So one's own swadharma, even though it is faulty, it is still a place for growth. Supposing I am a tamasic person, so I'll be going and doing my own thing slowly. But if I keep to it, even whatever work that I'm doing, even though I'm not connected to it, I don't particularly like it, my heart is not into it, and it still contributes to my growth. Not only does it contribute to my growth, it also helps me become more and more sattvic. How? Because one day comes, and Bhagavan is very sure of this, that I get sick of myself. I get sick, I'll say, what is wrong with me? Why am I doing this? Why am so some inspiration will come from somewhere. Thanks to Purva Punya, something will happen to make an interruption in this state of affairs of being, to carry on this example, to be a tamasic person. The tamasic person also keeps on doing this, and at some point says, I can do better. Hears a lot of insults, insulted left, right and center all the time, and then still keeps on doing it, and one day gets sick of the insults. What are people thinking? Why are they insulting me? I can do better. And that's good, because that's, instead of tamas, for a change, what has come out? Rajas, ambition. This is what we want. Activity. Suddenly the person changes. But if the person had changed the job and gone into something else, again they would do it, it would have been difficult. It would have again been difficult because unfamiliar job, unfamiliar place, unfamiliar everything, and then they would be still confused. Confused about priorities, confused about roles, confused about what to do, confused about what to gain in life. So therefore, living in Swadharma is recommended especially for people who want moksha. Because this is the thinking. What do you want? Moksha, right? And so if you want moksha, this is point number one. Point number two, you can't sit without doing anything. Especially if one is not a sannyasi and not ready to be a sannyasi. You can't sit and not do anything. How long can you sit? How long can you not do anything? Well, you can't do that. You'll get bored. So that, and especially, okay, if one is sick or one doesn't, one is not able to do things, it's different. But one is able-bodied and able to do something. One gets sick of oneself just sitting. One wants to do something. So these two facts are taken together. One, I want moksha. One, not a single person can sit without doing anything for too long. And if you combine these two, I can do certain things to get ready for moksha. Not only certain things, I can do things in a certain way to get ready for moksha. And so if moksha is the view, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter. Something I have to do. Let me do it well. Let me do it not for the sake of the result of action. Let me do it for what? In the maturity, spiritual growth, emotional growth, the ability to sit quietly, antahkarana shuddhi. That is why I am doing it. It doesn't matter what I do. I just do it in order to ready myself for this knowledge, and so therefore it is good to remain in something, especially if one does not like it. And that is what the Shastra said. We don't, it's in the West and even now in India also. If you don't like something, what is the first thing to do? Get up and go. Find something else to do. Find something else to do. You don't like the life partner, get up, leave, go. Or drive them out. Whichever comes first. And then what? Find somebody else. This is how it is. And then how does that work out? It just adds to the frantic way of being. It adds to a sense of defeatedness. Like and here also I have not succeeded. There also I have not succeeded. Everything is just short-lived and I'm going from one thing to another thing, bouncing off like a ball without a destination. Not in a playing field. There it has a destination. It has to either go this side on one goal or that side on to the other goal. No. Here the person is going goal, without a goal means round and round, without a destination. And that is very frustrating. But whereas, because even if you change, like you saw how those people who built the house in a wooded area, I told you the story yesterday. What happened? Same noise. Same noise. And then even after spending so much money, going far away and buying a plot of land in a completely, what kind of area? An area which has no people at all. Still somebody came right next to them. And so like this, there are many things which one cannot avoid. So I look at, this is part of the Swadharma discussion. I not only look at my abilities, but I also look at my own limitations connected to the Upadhi. Otherwise, if I am Brahman, when I know I am Brahman, there is no limitation. But connected to this body-mind-sense complex, there are certain limitations. And so I am aware of the limitations. And thirdly, after one has lived a few years on this earth, one is also aware of some of one's own karmic profile. You know that my karma it is that such people only will come to me. certain types of people. My karma it is to go and rescue people. My karma it is to do this. And so there is a certain karmic thing also. So it doesn't matter if I leave this situation because I'm sick of this karma and go to another situation. Why? Because the karma follows slowly. And there it is. It's even if you close the door, it will say hello from the window. I'm back. In a different form. Karma also is Bhagavan is has a sense of humor. Very, very funny it is how karma comes into the life. Again and again, same people in a different body come. That is exactly the thing. And this really happened. So there was one woman, I don't know her, but I know her aunt. Her aunt told me that she was from Africa, so she was doing some kind of rituals and prayers in their language, in their this thing. I think she was from Ghana. So whatever indigenous rituals and all she did was that she was of marriageable age, was 24, 25, and then she said to whatever deity she was praying to, she said, please send me a fine man, strong as an ox. And then somebody gave her a gift of an ox the very next day. So Bhagavan heard it partially. So this is what happens. So there is a karmic, this thing, there is a karmic profile also. One gets familiar with that because one keeps dealing with the same situations. So I know that, okay, karmically I am not fit for this, or I am fit for this but I have to work very hard because there are obstructions in the way. So therefore I accept the karma. Accepting karma is what? Accepting Bhagavan. Bhagavan is in the form of karma. Karma phala is Bhagavan. And so therefore, especially if I am interested in moksha, I stay wherever I have been put. It is not fatalistic. This is not at all a fatalistic argument. People say karma makes one fatalistic. No. Karma yoga and karma theory makes one intelligent, not fatalistic. Not only makes one intelligent, but it has some kind of a cushion, like the shock absorbers of a car. I know this is what is possible and I gladly accept it. This is not fatalism. This is a conscious decision from the standpoint of an agent. I embrace whatever comes because my sights are set elsewhere. Because I am not interested in the outcome of whatever comes. I am interested in moksha. So whatever comes, I deal with it along the way. And so this is the verse number 47. 48 also echoes the same thing. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi natyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agnihi iva avritaha. A slightly different reason is given to keep on with the swadharma. Sadoshamapi natyajet. Even though your own karma, your own swadharma, or whatever karma you are being told to do and whatever karma you have to do may be flawed, but do not leave it. Why? Because sarvarambha hi doshena avrita. So every karma, arambha means the beginning of every undertaking, is flawed. It is flawed. Karma is flawed. Why is it flawed? It's full of flaws. What is the first flaw of karma? It is finite. Second flaw of karma, it does not and cannot, therefore it cannot lead to the infinite. Second flaw of karma. Third flaw of karma, that the karma phala is very, very elusive. Drishta phala you will get quickly. Drishta phala means immediate result. What is the immediate result? In the form of some self-satisfaction, whatever it is, some happiness, little bit, whatever. Adrishta, you don't know when it will come. So you give a big dana, a donation, and then what? go back to your place and hope for some big honor to come. Does that happen? No. Where did that karma go? Bhagavan has kept it in abeyance to be fructified 3 lifetimes from now. Who remembers? Who cares? Who will know? And so that's the third reason karma is flawed, because you have no say over the results of action. Not only you have no say over the results of action, you don't know when they will fructify. The fourth reason karma is flawed is because even if the results were to fructify immediately, you give a big donation and you get a promotion. And then what? Even then it is flawed. Why? Because that connection between that donation and this promotion cannot be really put together. How do you know it's because of this it is the promotion came? It's a belief. I can have that belief. So that therefore it is flawed. This argument itself is flawed. And then, okay, I get the promotion. After giving the donation, I get the promotion, and then what? Too much stress. Along with promotion comes heartburn and acidity. Why? Too many things to take care of. So it is dukkhakaram karma. Atriptikaram. Atriptikaram means it does not give satisfaction. Dukkhakaram causes sorrow. Atriptikaram causes discontent because of its finite. Anityam, it is finite. And it leads to more karma. It is a loop. Karma loop. That's why one becomes loopy, being in karma all the time. It's a loop. So karma, and then after karma what? Karma phala, and then what? Some more karma, because I don't like the karma phala. I do a redo. In computer language it is 2.0, then 3.0. You have new updates. Just look at your phones. How many times you get the annoying message, please update this app. Every day some app you have to keep on updating. It's never enough. All karma-based things. Better than going after these apps is to become apta. That is what it is. Apta kama means the one who is contented being oneself, has gained everything without really needing to pursue anything. This is the teaching. And so, sarvarambha hi doshena avrita. Avrita means covered. Just how? Like, when you have ardra indhanam. Indhanam means firewood, fire logs that have been out in the rain. Then you light the fire log now because you are cold and you want to warm up. And then what will come? Why is it taking so long? Yeah. Is there smoke here? Yeah.
I said I'm pretending to be a fire log.
Yeah. So when you light a wet log and try to warm up, you will only get asthma, not warm. Okay? because you will just be inhaling smoke. So that is the example given here. It is because every karma is flawed, just like a wet log, that is, before the fire comes, what comes is a whole lot of smoke that one has to deal with. Smoke and mirrors, that's all it is. It's just a very, very sad situation. So therefore, it's better to stay in one's own dharma and one's own karma, because if you focus on the karma and find that there is a better karma somewhere else, there is no better karma, because all karmas have these 4 or 5 flaws which we just listed further. Asakta buddhi sarvatra, jitatma vigata sprihah, naishkarmya siddhim paramam, सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा. So, up till 48, we have one topic, which is that of using one's swadharma in order as a ladder to grow internally. How to grow internally using my own swadharma as a ladder by staying in my lane and not just getting distracted. This was the discussion. Okay. So then what else? Then the topic shifts from the 49th verse up to Buddhim Ashritam Achittam. So up till I think 60, up till 60, we have another topic. And what is that topic? It's a topic called Jnana Nishtha. We will be seeing what that means and what that is. So this is the topic called Jnana Nishtha. Jnana Nishtha means abidance in the knowledge. How being truthful to one's swadharma, if one is interested in moksha, how can one grow as a result, is detailed in the following verses. Because Karma Yoga does not directly lead to knowledge, but it gives the disposition to seek a guru, to follow the shastra and to be instructed and then cast off the shackles of Atma Ajnanam. That's the idea. So, the first verse that we chanted two of them. The first verse that we chanted gives a certain kind of a picture of the person who is a jnani. Asakta buddhihi sarvatra. Sakta means clingy buddhi. Sakta buddhi means clingy buddhi. What is clingy buddhi? Whatever it sees, it clings to it. And then here, asakta buddhihi sarvatra. This sarvatra is important. Not just in one area, in all the other areas also. Because one can say, I have great tyaga. For what? Karela. I have great tyaga for neem leaves. Neem leaves means these bitter leaves. I can be without them. So that is not what is being pointed out here. Sarvatra, not just with regard to a few things, with regard to everything, there is asakta buddhi, a non-clinging. Clinging is because there is insecurity. One clings to food, one clings to people, one clings to object, one clings to things because there is insecurity. And then there is, my body is myself, iti buddhi, I am the body. And so dehatma buddhi being there, this clinging for security comes in. And then the clinging for security, what does it do? It makes me come in my own way of gaining this knowledge. I become the obstruction. Nobody else needs to come and obstruct. I myself sabotage my own growth. And so here, the jnani is pointed out, asakt, non-clingy buddhi everywhere. Jitatma, the one who has mastered the mind. Atma here means mind, antakarana. Jitaha antakaranaha yasya. So the one whose antakarana is won over by who? Oneself. Self-mastery. Vigata spruhaha. Vigata spruha yasmat. These are all not qualities, but these are people who have qualities. Bahuvrihi, compound. And so vigata spruha means from whom all desire has fled. The desires look at this jnani and run away. That is the person, vigata spruha. Vigataspriha. And then, what else? Naishkarmya siddhim paramam. Gains something. What does he or she gain? Gains Naishkarmya siddhi. In fact, there is a book by the same name. So, but here the book is not referred to. It's not that such a person is given the present of both the volumes of Naishkarmya Siddhi book. No. Naishkarmya Siddhi means accomplishment of being free of karma. Accomplishing non-doing. Accomplishing what is called akartritva buddhi. Accomplishing the status of non-doership is called Naishkarmya Siddhi. We first encountered the word Naishkarmya in chapter 3. And what was that verse? That verse was about Naishkarmyam nahi sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. And na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushah ashnute. Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushošnute. Na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. What number? 4. Yeah, in the beginning of chapter 3. That's the first time we saw the word Naishkarmya. And what did it say there in chapter 3? Na karmanam anarambhat. One does not get to the place of actionlessness by not starting any work. By not starting any work, what do you get? Tamas. That's all. You just sit quietly, nothing happens, sleep comes. Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushah ashnute. The person does not gain actionlessness by sitting and not doing anything. And then secondly what? Nacha sanyasanadeva. Supposing the person gives up everything and becomes sannyasi, then siddhim samadhigacchati, does not gain moksha. Two things are pointed out. If you don't do anything and sit in one place, you are not going to perfect what is called actionlessness, which is the sign of moksha. And if you take sannyasa also, you are not becoming a jnani. Jnana and sannyasa don't really go together. One is a means for the other. This is what was pointed out in chapter 3. Here, Naishkarmya means akartata. No, I am not akarta. I am not performing any action. Iti buddhi is called Naishkarmya. I am forever free of karma. Who can say that? Huh? But the Jnani is also eating, drinking nicely. Yeah? Jnani is also walking. Jnani is talking. Jnani is teaching. Jnani is writing books. Is this all not karma? That's the thing. The Jnani, she or he, knows one very important thing. What? Even though I am engaged in action, I am not doing anything. From this 3rd chapter, we can jump to the 4th chapter, the famous and a very confusing verse. What was that? Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha. Even the sages are deluded. What is karma? What is akarma? What is not karma? People are deluded. And then one more verse is there. Karmani akarma yaf pashyet. Karma, what? Yeah, same thing. Sa buddhiman manushyeshu sa kritsna karma krit sa yuktaha sa kritsna karma krit. These two verses are important because it's all, the 18th chapter is a summary, but we can't just be glib about it and gloss it over and say it's a summary. Summary of what? We have to look back here. The whole 18th chapter is what is called Simhavalokanam. Simha means what? Cat. No, lion. So Simha, lion. And apparently it kills. It will kill one hyena or whatever it kills. And then it eats first. Even the lioness and the babies cannot come near. It will growl at its own children. They all stand at a respectful distance and let the king of the jungle eat. Then after it has had its fill, and then it will slowly walk away. And then slowly the lioness and the cubs will come and they start feeding off the carcass. Apparently it goes a little ways, turns around and say, what a killing I made. Look at that. This is called Simhavalokanam. This is how the expression has come. So Simhavalokanam means looking back. So looking back not randomly. So we have to be very clear where are we looking back. And then if you have these cross references, which I am making it a point to mention, then it becomes easier to assimilate what has gone before. So that each chapter doesn't seem like something to gain and then forget, and then to gain and then forget. They are not discrete things, they are all beautifully interwoven like a wonderful tapestry of Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. So here, this is what is said, this Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam. Paramam means the ultimate actionlessness this person gains. And how does this person gain this ultimate actionlessness? Sannyasena adhigacchati. It's not just sannyasa as in taking on ochre robes. It's not taking on orange robes, sannyasa necessarily. It can mean that, but here it means tyagena adhigacchati. The person who is able to give it up, not really cling. That is the person who gives up also the feeling that the identification that I am an actor. Through knowledge only, one understands that I was never the actor. It was not that before knowledge I was the actor, then after that I stopped acting, I became a Naishkarmya. No. Before also I was what? Nishkarma. Now also what I am? Nishkarma. What was the difference? Before I didn't know it, now I know it. That's the only difference. And so this Swadharma, the following of Swadharma and preparing for moksha gives this Naishkarmya Siddhi in time, of course with a proper teaching, etc., etc. And then in the next verse he says, Lord Krishna says, Siddhim praptaha. So Naishkarmya Siddhi was talked about, that same Siddhi, that understanding that I am not an actor, understanding Atma I am, and that Atma does not do anything, yatha brahma tatha apnoti. So gaining this actionlessness, what does one gain? Oneself as Brahman. Gaining this actionlessness, one gains oneself as Brahman. Yatha apnoti, how does that person gain? Tatha shrinu, I am going to tell you. Oh, you are going to give chapter 2 all over again. No. Samasena means very briefly I am going to touch upon the Jnani. And remember, we have had the description of the Jnani practically in every chapter, starting with chapter 2, then whereas chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 13, chapter 14, chapter 12. Everywhere we've had descriptions of the Jnani because it's an important topic, because we should not forget what the Jnani is like, because what am I? Jnani want to be. I am a wannabe Jnani, and if I am a Jnani wannabe, then I should always keep in the forefront what the Jnani is. And that's why very helpfully we have this kind of a summary at the end, usually towards the close of practically every chapter. This chapter is also not an exception. Each time it is done differently. Here also we'll see that. And then Samasena Kaunteya, in brief, I will tell you, O Kunti Putra, what, and here it's coming in a new way. It's coming in the form of a word, Jnana Nishtha. Nishtha, Ni plus Tha, Nis plus Tha. Nitaram Sthitihi Nishtha. Nitaram Sthitihi, meaning abidance. Abidance in what? Atmajnana. What do you mean abidance in Atmajnana? Now everybody must be experiencing this after 6-month course. What is that? Knowledge comes when? As long as I am sitting in the class. And then I leave the classroom, what happens to the knowledge? Remains in the classroom. I go out. This happens. And then the knowledge is there. When I am sitting in my room quietly, I say, nothing can disturb me. No one can touch me. And then some fight is going on right next door. Then I go out and I also scream. So much, the whole piece is bhanga. There is a bhanga of the piece. The piece is broken into pieces. And so therefore, this is so right now we have the knowledge come as a quick visitor. Hello, bye, hi, bye. No, stay. I've got to go. I'll go sit in another buddhi for a few minutes. It's almost like the Jnanam is saying that. Hi, bye, hi, bye, hi, bye. Why so soon? Stay. Please stay. Karnake doesn't oblige. So this is what we mean by Jnana Nishtha. The Jnanam stays in, in situations which are conducive to me, which make me happy, the Jnanam stays. And the Jnanam also stays in difficult situations which make me unhappy, also the Jnanam stays. Guruna api dukkhena na vichalyate, we saw in the 6th chapter. Even by the biggest of difficulties, the person is not shaken up. This is what is called Jnana Nishtha. Pujya Swamiji used to tell a story. It's a Buddhist story. And so this man was a Zen master, but he was not a monk. He was a householder, and he was in fact a tradesman. He had lots of ships coming and going and used to trade in spices, silks, etc. The ships would go, come back, everything like that. And his children and his wife also went on one of the trips. He stayed behind. And because he had work to do, he just told the wife and children, you enjoy and come back. And then what? The news came, you know what? This ship has wrecked and sunk. He said, what? And then after a while he composes himself and he says, so what? And then your wife and children are dead. What? And then after a while, what does he say? So what? This is Jnana Nishtha. Little bit, oh my God, what? No, how? And then after that, so what? So that which converts the what, oh no, in my life to so what. This is called Jnana Nishtha. And this is what is the abidance in the knowledge. The knowledge comes and what? Comes with bag and baggage. It comes with its suitcases, jnanam. And then occupies the buddhi. Makes itself at home. Arranges its things everywhere. And stays. Does not pack up and leave. No matter what. Even if the person has dementia, does not pack up and leave. That's Jnana Nishtha. And so, this Jnana Nishtha, how it is going to be gained and how does the person look like who has Jnana Nishtha? Listen to me in brief. That is this is the section of the next 9 or 10 verses. Buddhya vishuddhaya yuktah dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayan tyaktva ragadveshau vyudasya cha viviktade sevi laghvashi yatavakkaya manasah dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritah ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimuchya nirmama shantah brahma bhuyaya kalpate vishuddhaya buddhya yuktah. This is all a revision. We have seen this in chapter 13, we have seen this in chapter 12, we have seen this in chapter 2. Buddhya, what kind of buddhi? With the buddhi that is clear as a lake. A lake which you can see the stones at the bottom, crystal clear. Buddhi, meaning there is not the agitation in the buddhi. Think of a lake where a child has thrown a pebble, a stone. Then what is there? Ripples, waves. And then the mud from underneath also comes out sometimes. And it's turbid, not clear. But after a while you go for a walk and come back. And then what is there? Just clear. So the buddhi is always like that. It is not agitated in two different ways. It's not agitated by anything that it encounters outside of itself, and it's not agitated by anything that it encounters in the form of bubbles of memory, etc., within itself either. Clear buddhi. No obstructions from outside, no disturbances from within. And when the disturbances may come, but the disturbances are neutralized immediately because of the light of Atma Jnanam, the Jnana Nishtha that is there, the disturbances do not have an effect, they do not last in fact. So Dhrityatma, so Vishuddhaya Yuktah, endowed with this kind of a buddhi, Dhrityatmanam Niyamya cha. So the person who has dhriti, perseverance, discipline, this kind of a person. And what does the person say? What does the person do? Shabdadin Vishayans Tyaktva. So the dhriti, the forbearance, the strength here, the courage is what? To keep chucking out all the things that, needless things that enter the mind. And we have encountered this in chapter 2. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. This is what? As the thoughts come, thoughts will come. Desires will come. It's not in my hands. We see in the Kenopanishad, who thinks? I don't know who puts the thoughts in my head. Thoughts come. Desires come. And because the mind is conscious, because it borrows that sentience from Atma, Chaitanya, that Chaitanya lights up the thoughts in the form of vrittis, like little glowworms on a dark night, khadyota. It goes like this. So like this, the thought comes, thought goes, thought comes, thought goes. In any mind, in any given mind, at any given time. So, what do I have to do? I have to say, never mind to this kind of a mind. That's what I have to say. Because thoughts come, thoughts go. And if you just enjoy it, like enjoying the glowworms on a dark night. It's actually very pretty. You go in the dark night, you sit in a wooded area, and then suddenly you don't even know where the next light will come and where it will go off. On, off. It's like a nature's Christmas light show. It's so beautiful. Bhagavan's show. And then I can enjoy it. But if I attach to it and say, why did this light go off? I wanted it on. Then I become miserable. So too within. When I do this, I either chase after the thoughts or I try to chase away the thoughts. Both of those become a travesty, a liability for this kind of, to work towards this jnana nishtha. Let the thoughts come. I don't shun them away. Let it come. Because even if I say don't come, it will come. Even if I stop it now, it will come in some other form. Let it come. But then it will go. Let it go. I come back to the place of the Sakshi repeatedly. And that is what is, this is again from chapter 6. Yato yato nischarati tatas niyamyaitat. And this is what Lord Krishna gives. It's at the end of chapter 6. Each time the mind moves away, yato nischarati, tatah, each time it moves away, bring it back. Atmani vasham nayet. Keep it, be the master here. Don't go after the thoughts. When the mind moves away from the object of dhyanam, meditation, here the meditation is contemplation because it's a jnani, it's not mantra japa. So when the mind moves away from, let's say, aham brahmasmi, this kind of a vritti, then bring the mind back. And whatever other thoughts are there, shabdadin vishayans tyaktva, keeping on shaking it off. Like a wet dog which comes out of the water. What does it do? Yeah, that's what you have to do inside. To the thoughts that dampen the mind. You just shake it off. Shake it off, it's not you. It's not the Atma. What do I want? Atma. Where do I want to live? I want to live in the Atma. That is the 51st verse. Then the next verse describes the person who is able to do this. And the person is what? Vivikta Sevi. Likes to remain by herself, himself. And then, next word, Laghvashi. Laghvashi means light eater. Laghu ashanam yasya. Laghvashi. Light varies from person to person. Okay. How can you say what is light? One man went to a doctor. And the doctor said, you need to go on a diet. See, last time you came and now you have come. You have put on 5-6 kilos. Really, it's very bad for the heart. You need to go on a diet. So, eat light, man was told. And what did the man say to the doctor? He said, I really don't know. I've never done this before. So please tell me what to eat and when to eat, because then I can follow this. So then the doctor said, oh, it's not hard, Says you can eat some cereal or some toast. And then, in the morning you do that. In the afternoon you can have a couple of chapatis, some sabji, little yogurt, something like that. And at night you can have some soup and something light, salad and soup. He wrote it all down. Very meticulous. He was a good patient. And then he said, Doctor, I have a question. What? Should I have this before breakfast, before lunch, or before dinner? Whatever you have recommended. So, Laghvashi means what? Where is the formula? Because everybody, for some person who is eating 10 chapatis, 5 chapatis is Laghuvashi. The person who then eats 5 chapatis means that is Laghu Vashanam. But is there a formula? Yes, there is a formula. It's an Ayurvedic formula. It's very, very nice. Ashanena purayet ardham. Fill up half the stomach with what? Food. Alright. But how do I know what is half the stomach? One day eat till you cannot eat anymore. Till it threatens to come out of the nose. Eat full. That is full stomach. And count how many slices of bread or how many chapatis or how much pasta or rice, whatever it is that you are eating. Count that. And cut that in half. That is what is called half of the stomach. Fill half of the stomach with food and then 1/4 fill it with water. That too drunk at least half an hour gap after the food. Okay? Oh, and the last 1/4 for dessert. No. What is the last 1/4 for? Keep it empty for circulation. It's like a washing machine. So washing machine, you stuff it with clothes and then press the on button. What will happen? Nothing will happen. It will clog. It needs place for it to move around. So samana vayoho sancharanartham. In order for the samana vayu, the vayu of digestion. The prana of samana prana is the prana of digestion. For the digestive process to happen, there should be a little space. Inner space should be there. This is what is called Laghuvashi. Laghuvashi also means, you just eat lightly. Don't eat too much. Because what happens when I eat too much? Sleep will come. Instead of contemplation, sleep will come. And then Adi Shankara says, along with the sleep, then laziness will come. And then the desire for food, just like the desire for anything else, keeps building on itself. Keeps building upon itself. And so that's why the mind is taken away from the food and I eat in order to live, not the other way around. I don't live in order to eat. This is Laghuvashi. I eat in order to live, but not live in order to eat. Vivikta Sevi Laghuvashi. And we had seen this in the 12th chapter. Santushto yena kena chit. Yadrichhalabha santushta dvandvatito vimatsarah. We saw all this in chapter 12. So then, yatavak, yata means disciplined. The one for whom these following things are disciplined. Vak, kaya and manasa. Vak, speech. Kaya, body. Manasa, mind. The body-mind sense complex is disciplined. Does not keep saying something or the other just because one can, without a point, does not keep doing whatever and does not keep thinking whatever. There is a mastery of the mind-body sense complex. And then what else? Dhyana yoga paraha nityam. Dhyana yoga here is contemplation, not mantra japa. Dhyana yoga paraha. Paraha means commitment. One whose commitment is for contemplation, reliving the words of the Shastra and delighting in them. It's like standing under the waterfall of the words of the Shastra, waterfall of the Mahavakya, letting it just wash over. And that is the idea here, Dhyana Yoga Paraha, the one who is adept in the contemplation, then endowed, Samupashritaha, blessed by, endowed by Vairagya for everything else. That is the idea. Next one. Ahankara balam darpam Kamam krodham parigraham विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तः ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते ब्रह्मभूतः प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्. Rest we'll see tonight. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo